Hey there, quirky people! I'm your host, Anna, and today we'll be looking at the scenes that got deleted from Avatar: The Way of Water. Avatar 2 was among the longest movies ever made. But still, we can be sure that there was plenty of footage that was shot and ideas that were not added in the final cut. If a movie is 3 hours and 12 minutes long, then you have to imagine that its assembly cut will not be less than 5 to 6 hours. Reports suggest that James Cameron has 9 hours worth of footage already shot for Avatar 3 as well. So, we can be sure that there was a lot of material that Cameron shot for The Way of Water too. But only a few deleted story ideas have been revealed so far. So without any further ado, let's get to those. Avatar: The Way of Water was supposed to involve more gun violence. In the entire runtime, Cameron perfectly balanced the introduction of new concepts, characters, and locations on Pandora. But he also balanced all the National Geographic on Pandora with some crazy action sequences. I mean, the fights were crisp, hardcore, and borderline R-rated. Overall, The Way of Water is a visual spectacle, which is why it is making a lot of money. But apparently, there could have been 10 minutes of more violence in the film. James Cameron told Esquire Middle East, and I quote, "I actually cut about 10 minutes of the movie targeting gunplay action. I wanted to get rid of some of the ugliness to find a balance between light and dark. You have to have conflict, of course. Violence and action are the same thing depending on how you look at it. This is the dilemma of every action filmmaker, and I'm known as an action filmmaker." Unquote. There is a fair bit of gun violence in Avatar: The Way of Water already, and Cameron is right. Adding in a bit more may have looked cool, but it would have promoted the gun problem that currently exists in the US more than anywhere else. Cameron further said, and I quote, "I look back on some films that I've made, and I don't know if I would want to make that film now. I don't know if I would want to fetishize the gun like I did on a couple of Terminator movies 30 plus years ago in our current world. What's happening with guns in our society turns my stomach." Unquote. So long story short, Cameron cut out a couple of hefty action sequences, which I will describe in a short while. Apart from them, Avatar: The Way of Water's entire story was actually different than what it was supposed to be. That's because James Cameron had to redo the original screenplay of Avatar 2. James Cameron's original script was very different from the story we got. For starters, it did not have a time jump. The story would have picked up right after Jake opened his eyes as a complete Na'vi being. But then, Cameron realized the time he needed to make Avatar 2 and how his sequel won't work without a time jump. So he decided to tell the follow-up story of Avatar through comics. He worked with Dark Horse to publish his screenplay in the form of graphic novels, which were titled Avatar: The High Ground. And that's how we got some important reveals, like how Miles Socorro, aka Spider, was born. Readers of The High Ground would know that Quaritch shared a romance with Paz Socorro, who was a Scorpion pilot for the RDA. Their romance eventually led to the birth of Miles. And soon after that, Paz flew with Quaritch's team to attack the Na'vi and died, leaving Spider orphaned on Pandora. Besides this backstory, the original script also included a massive space battle. We only got glimpses of how the RDA was sent back to Earth, but The High Ground went deeper. It revealed the critical battles led by Jake in the name of protecting the Omaticaya and his family. And one of those was where the Na'vi actually went out to battle the RDA in space, which they called the Black World. Apparently, they trained under Jake, recovered spacesuits from the RDA, and went out to fight. With their experience in the forest, their agile bodies made them prime warriors in zero-gravity environments. This space battle would have looked quite amazing on screen, but one can understand how challenging it would have been to bring to life on the big screen. Still, we can only hope that Cameron would find a way to add a space battle into his future sequels when the Na'vi travel to Earth. Another important battle that the director removed from Avatar 2 was Na'vi vs. RDA 2.0. We saw the RDA returning to Pandora and only got glimpses of how they re-established their foothold. With the return of the heavily armed RDA, Jake trained the Na'vi population to go up against them. This time he hoped that he would end the RDA for good, but the Na'vi lost the space battle. And then the RDA fought another war to take over Hell's Gate. While watching The Way of Water, many of us were left asking how exactly did the humans get such a strong foothold on Pandora once again? Cameron didn't go very deep into this in the final cut of Avatar 2, as we only got a few glimpses. But The High Ground showed the major battle that the RDA had to win over the Na'vi under General Ardmore's leadership. Apparently, all these were the scenes that Cameron deleted to balance the gun violence in his latest movie. It would have been nice to see them, but we're happy with what we got. Those who do want to go deeper should read all the volumes of Avatar: The High Ground, as it acts as a nice bridge between Avatar and Avatar: The Way of Water. And don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons if you enjoyed the video. Okay, that is all for now. Goodbye, and I'll see you in the next one.